what's going on, bro? 49 points y'all trailed in game 2. I mean, what's up? What's up? KD and the crew are coming to the house. What you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it?
The MVP.
It's an accomplishment that show me that I'm doing a good job. I'd rather them win a championship than win an MVP.
This is very reminiscent of his childhood idol, Kobe Bryant.
The Phoenix Suns have buzzsawed the terrific Nuggets twice.
One team that wanted to be here and one team that did not want to be here, and that's why we got our kick.
We're talking playoffs. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into First Take. Thank you for being with us. He is Max Kellerman. That's Stephen A. Smith. I'm Molly Karen Rose. Gentlemen, you ready to do this? Let's go. Friday Eve. Nuggets coach Michael Malone calling out his team after their second lopsided loss in the series, a 25-point beatdown last night in Phoenix. A pretty serious accusation by Coach Malone. You'll hear that in a second. Meanwhile, CP3 feeling confident as the squad heads to Denver with a commanding series lead.
Depth and what everybody brings. You know, Book scores in his sleep. He defends. You know, he's one of the best two-way players in the league, you know, and we feed off that. And then we got so many weapons. Jay is never fazed by anything. Take a big shot. He's going to defend whoever you ask him to. Mikhail is like our unsung hero. Guards everybody, shot maker, drive, everything. And then DA, can't ask for more from somebody like him. Like he guards, he runs, he rebounds, he does everything. He's literally been our MVP in the postseason so far.
I saw one team that wanted to be here and play with a purpose and urgency, and one team that did not want to be here and play with no urgency. And that's why we got our kicked. There's a reason that their crowd is yelling Suns in 4 and they're calling for a sweep, because if we play like this back in Denver, this is going to be a really quick series.
The Nuggets looking like a one-man team last night. Jokic scored a game-high 24 points and almost outscored the rest of the Nuggets starters combined. More bad news for the Nuggets. Teams trailing 2-0 in a best-of-7 series have lost 93% of those series in NBA history. Max Kellerman, Is this more about good Suns or bad Nuggets?
It's bad Nuggets. It's bad Nuggets. And by the way, what has been the story of these playoffs really is we were wondering what's going to happen. COVID year, shortened preseason. It's a lot of games to play, compressed. Are injuries going to be a problem? Yes, injuries have been a problem. Injuries could wind up deciding these playoffs. Look at the Lakers. No AD at all. Limited LeBron. Of course the Lakers are going to lose. And look at Denver now. And I thought, Stephen A., that they could survive without Jamal Murray. Maybe even get out of the West. With Jamal Murray, I'd have picked them to get out of the West. But even without Jamal Murray, because they have a deep backcourt. But what happens? Will Barton's been out for a long time with the hamstring. So he is finally ready to come back. You know what that does? It throws off the rotation. Aaron Gordon's not the same because his minutes are messed. It throws everything off. And Michael Porter Jr., in the absence of Jamal Murray, needs to be the second option. And we've seen, when he's right, how deadly he can be scoring. He was not right. You saw him with the raps at the end of game 1, and he was questionable for game 2 with what? With the back. What do you keep bringing up about Porter Jr.? That Jerry West passed not once but twice on this guy in the draft because of the back. But his talent is pitched so high, you got to roll the dice. That's what Denver did. And here's the downside. When his back is acting up, this is the Michael Porter Jr. you get. So now you have no Jamal Murray, no reliable second option because of Porter's back. Will Barton comes back. You're going to have to reintegrate him into the team. That's going to throw guys off like Aaron Gordon. Jokic, 24, 13, and 6, didn't even play the whole game, needs some help. I don't think it's an issue of quitting. I think it's an issue of playing on the road with a banged-up team. They better get healthy for home court because that's an advantage at altitude.
Well, first of all, you're wrong. And the reason why you're wrong is, number one, I don't believe that either of us are qualified to question Mark Malone when he's talking about whether or not the team quit. He would know. He coaches them. He's looking at them, and he sees how they customarily play. And then all of a sudden, last night, you wet the bed. By the way, in the immediate aftermath of Jokic receiving the league MVP award. And so to know that your guy who's carried this team received that league MVP award with Adam Silver on the video screen and whatever while they was in their conference room in the hotel and all of this other stuff, and then to come out and play like that. It wasn't him that was playing bad. It was the guys around him playing bad. But the key stat and the key reason why the Phoenix Suns are up 2-0, what did they show at the beginning of this show? CP3, 26th assist and 1 turnover in the first 2 games. Why you think Crowder's looked good? Why you think Bridges has looked good? Why you think Cameron Payne, even coming off the bench to spell for CP3, has looked so good? DeAndre Ayton has looked good throughout these playoffs. It's about leadership, man. It's about floor generalship. It's about somebody that's directing traffic, dictating tempo, and doing those kind of things. That's what we're seeing from these Phoenix Suns. And again, it's about that crowd. Because I don't think you're going to see that happen in Denver. You ain't going to see Phoenix win like this in Denver. I'll bet the house it won't go down like that. That crowd in Phoenix, I cannot say enough. I mean, it is special. Utah was special the other night as well. Let's give them their props. But Phoenix and that crowd and what it does for this particular team, I've seen it many times in my career covering teams. You're in a completely different team on your home court than you are on the road. You feed off of it, particularly when you're young. And that's what this team is with the Aytons and Bookers and Bridges of the world. They're young. Crowder and CP3 have been there before. I mean, you know, if Crowder just was in the NBA Finals for crying out loud last season. I think when you look at it from that perspective, that's what I'm looking at right here. It was more about the Phoenix Suns and what they're able to do on their home court than what Denver did.
Well, Chris Paul's brilliant. And in fact, even his comments, Ayton is our MVP. No, he hasn't been, but he's pumping Ayton up. He's mentoring him and pumping him up because he needs him. He's showing real leadership on and off the court. It's not that the Suns aren't good. You knew coming in they were good. You knew coming into this season they were good. It's that Denver was going to need extra. They were going to have to be the best version of themselves to beat them on the road without Jamal Murray, with a compromised Porter, with Will Barton coming back, and the ripple effect that has on the rest of the rotation, including especially I think Aaron Gordon, who was off. That's what I mean by Denver wasn't good. They had to be a better version of themselves or a good version of themselves. They were a bad version of themselves. In terms of coach saying the team quit, yeah, you're right. Neither one of us are in a position to second guess him if he's seeing things like that. What I am questioning is whether he's trying to push their buttons. In other words, he needs more out of them. What they're giving him is not enough, and he's trying to push their buttons publicly so they respond.
They got their ass kicked.
Oh, of course.
And you asked them 5-10 minutes after the game what happened. They got their ass kicked.
Yeah,
I mean, ain't no.
but that's different than saying quitting.
Excuse, well, to him, it wasn't. Because listen, they've lost before convincingly in a regular season game here or there, whatever. He has never seen this team perform so putridly as they did last night in a playoff game. So you got to pay attention to that because you know what they're supposed to be bringing. And then you got young cats out there running them out of the state, not even out of the building, out of the state. How the hell does that happen? Because you got to remember what they did in the second half of game one, how they came at them. You see these guys just go to another level, the level of passion and tenacity that we're accustomed to seeing them do, even without Jamal Murray.
Okay, I think that's fair. But I think it's also fair to second-guess coach. In other words, I know he didn't have any good options. Whatever he was going to choose is a bad option. Do I play an injured player? Do I rest him this game? It's not good. But what he chose to do was play Porter on the road. Obviously, he wasn't right. Rather than giving him that game off, maybe integrating Barton that way, giving